Hi guys, so today I wanted to do reading mean comments. Don't worry, this is not going to be the setup, but I've got about 30 right now. Go through my comment section once more, and then we're going to set up and I'll read them to you. Don't worry. All right, so I like to respond to comments. I like to read comments because I think it's important. I like when people take the time to respond to the content I've made, whether that's on my blog or either of my YouTube channels. Sometimes I have a limit to where I just have to like stop reading because things are just weird or odd or mean. And thankfully I don't get really super mean, hurtful comments where it really actually digs at me. They're meant to be mean, but I find them funny. So I made this video a couple of months ago, I think it was this summer, of just reading mean, weird comments. And I don't know if these are mean or weird or like some of them are mean, meant to be mean, but I realized that a lot of these are to do with me being a minimalist. And I put out a tweet. People have a very strict idea of what minimalism is. Minimalism is a spectrum, just like almost everything else in life. I mean, there are things like even veganism is a spectrum. So many different ways to do it. You can be healthy, you can be unhealthy, you can be somewhere in between, you can be someone that completely eats or all organic, fruit-based, raw until for. There's so many different ways to do everything, and it just really annoys me when people think that there is only one way to do something, and if you're not the extreme, that you should not bother doing it at all or calling yourself that certain thing because you're not doing it right. So I said, I've come to realize a lot of people have a pretty rigid definition of what minimalism is, and apparently you're doing it wrong, because I have so many comments of people being like, this is not minimalist, you could get away with half that stuff. Or there's people on the same video saying, oh my god, I could never go 2 weeks with that little stuff. So take it all with a grain of salt. People don't think I'm a minimalist apparently. I think it's because I linked it on one of my previous videos where I was packing for this trip I'm on right now, and it was 2 weeks in a carry-on packing like a minimalist, and people did not think I was a minimalist in this video. So this guy says, you're delusional if you consider yourself a minimalist. You don't need half that crap. I carry 2 pens and I've never had a problem. Ditch the glass straw and become a minimalist with a stainless steel lifetime straw. I don't understand how trading out one straw for a different one when they're both reusable, how that. Anyways, moving right along. Ditch your toiletry bag and stick to the clear plastic, and then in all caps, TSA approved bag. I can't remember what I packed in that video, but I probably have my toiletries bag, and I have my toiletries bag, and in that is all the stuff that I don't need to put in that clear TSA approved bag. There are plenty of times where, you know, I can get away with very little stuff, and I wear very little stuff when it comes to like makeup and hair care and that sort of stuff. But what you use in the bathroom is much larger than what you have to put in that like small clear TSA approved bag. So way too many clothes. You can easily do laundry each night in the bathroom lavatories. Not everyone wants to spend their nights doing laundry. Like, I know I can like wash my underwear in the sink and that sort of stuff if I want to, but I usually plan out my trips of like, I know I can do laundry at this point, or I know I'm not going to want to do laundry at all because of whatever reason, and I'll pack accordingly. And so if I want to bring, you know, 14 pairs of underwear for 2 weeks, I'm going to, and I'm not going to deal with trying to dry my underwear out in the bathroom. And then I like this, minimalists use, like there is just one category. Minimalists use 1 gallon clear Ziploc freezer bags. They make it easy to see what's inside at a glance. You don't have to memorize color schemes. They keep your contents dry in case you run into rain, and you can easily squeeze the excess air out of clothes so that it saves even more space. Packing cubes add weight and take up space. I like packing cubes versus plastic sacks because although I still do use plastic sacks in certain circumstances, I much prefer packing cubes to 1 gallon clear Ziploc bags because I feel like you can fit so much more in it, and you actually use less packing devices that way, and I can still see exactly what is in it simply by just unzipping the top. If you're using a clear Ziploc bag, that might work for you, but I find that it's difficult because you have to pull out everything in that bag, or like mess up your folding or rolling or whatever it is by getting something in that bag. So it's not a method I prefer. Not all minimalists do that. There's people that don't use any sort of packing cubes, bags, devices at all, and then just put it in their bag. So I hate when people are like, this is how to do it. And then he just finished saying, I lived for 2 months in Australia from one carry-on, and my girlfriend did as well. Yeah, so I have gone several different trips that have been a month in length, and it would be the same amount of clothing regardless of time, regardless of whether it's 2 weeks or a month. And I did it in a carry-on, and that was the whole thing. Moving along, this gal said, I want my 4 minutes back in response to my composting video, which people continue to hate, which whatever, I don't care. Let's take a sip of coffee. Some of these I didn't put the video they're linked to, but I can often guess which one it is. And I think this is a response to, oh, I don't know, I'd have to figure it out. I'm glad you didn't suggest the use of a condom because let's face it, it's not romantic. I don't know what video this is in response to, but I usually do recommend condoms for those first learning how to chart their cycles. So it's also abrasive, latex or not. Only a dildo or vibrator, or vib won't abrade. Who is this person? I'm not gonna say that back, but like, the vagina does so many other great things besides taking a dick. I've never heard of people having to get regular repairs at their gyno from having, you know, normal sex. Condoms are important to use. Condoms aren't this like terrible thing that people make them out to be. I just wish women would get themselves more credit, and I think this person is being joking, like is being sarcastic or is going out of their way to be like extreme or something like that. But I don't know. We're gonna move along because I need to start laughing. Undarl said, no such thing as a vegan, just a vegetarian with caveats. This one was in response to my how I compost video because I don't compost in my apartment, and people were very upset by that. I was talking about, you know, going through the process of looking up options because I really wanted to not have to throw away my food scraps, and there wasn't a good option where I lived. But I shared the solution I came up with to like encourage people to think outside the box, and people didn't like it. So this person says, waste of time, get your mom on the camera so she can tell us about composting because she's the one who is doing all the work. You're just handing over food scraps to her. You didn't tell me anything about composting. A guy going like this, and I think the sign for male, which my mom doesn't even compost. My mom lives out in the country, and so she literally just has like a food scrap pile, and like technically is composting, but I think when people think composting, they think, you know, you create this like delicious like mixture for the earth that you're gonna garden with, but she doesn't garden. She just literally lets it like decay and break down and just go back to the earth, and I am happy with that. I'm fine with that. No one likes that. Back to packing and me not being a minimalist. Greg Dundee. Seriously, all that shit for just 2 weeks? Where are you traveling? Where are you traveling to? The moon? Oh God. This person said, I think it was probably on my like one of my body hair videos, you have a perfect smooth armpit. I can sleep onto your armpit smelling and touching smiley face. Just like the creepy things, and I think people just do it to be creepy, right? Julia, it's funny how Americans pack like a minimalist is kind of like the rest of the world is pack like a normal person. I don't think it's just an American thing to be not minimalist. I think it's a global thing of people overpacking. But Letitia, this is not minimalist. Baskerville, why do people on packing videos put their toothbrush on the floor where people walk with dirty shoes? And I responded, I was like, it's my own apartment. We don't wear shoes inside, and I'm not bothered by it. To each their own. Like, people can do whatever they want with their toothbrushes in their house because it's their house. There's a lot more germs on your toothbrush than you have to worry about like putting it on the floor. Oh, this is on a packing video, but it's not about being minimalist. It's about not being no waste. She said, if you're trying to work on the whole no waste thing with the wooden toothbrush and the cutlery and the Lush things, which I really do appreciate, maybe don't put all those things into individual plastic bags because that looks absurd, like cry laugh face. And my response to this, because I think it's important, is I have 3 to 4 plastic Ziploc bags from before, and I don't want to just throw stuff away when I can find uses for it, even though it's not the perfect zero waste option that you go out and buy. I would rather use the things I have until I can't use them anymore, or I use them up and then replace them with zero waste options. But I'm not going to just purge my house and send everything to the landfill so I can then go buy stuff and be like the perfect zero waste poster girl. That just doesn't sit right with me. And even though that doesn't look perfect and zero waste now because I'm using plastic bags, I am reusing the same 3 to 4 plastic bags over and over and over. Each time I travel, they have holes in them. I have one that I keep my razor blade in just because I have cut my fingers before reaching into my toiletries bag. That one is like ripped to shreds, but I just roll it up so it keeps it protected from my fingers. And then I also said, like, I've had solid bars melt and leak all over everything before, and I said I'm definitely not perfect, transitioning and using what I already have. And she also commented on the same video, why do you put hand sanitizer in your backpack without the other liquids? Isn't that super annoying when going through security? Also, this is not packing like a minimalist. LMAO, you just have so many unnecessary things. I said I have pre-check so I don't have to take my liquids, laptop, or take my shoes off. That's a fact. Such a beautiful, wonderful thing. If I am traveling to other countries where pre-check doesn't get me into a special line where I have to go and do all those things, I then will, you know, separate everything. But I know I'm not gonna have to take my liquids out, so I can just keep certain things in certain places. I do usually keep it all in one space, just so when they are looking through on the scanners and stuff, nothing like flags it, because I hate getting my bag pulled. What's essential to one person might seem excessive to others. It's all about doing what works for you. And once again, I just hate this idea that you have to be a certain kind of minimalist or vegan or whatever it is. I'm not even going to read this one. I just kind of, whenever people post paragraphs that has nothing to do with anything, I'm like, what are these people doing? But I think it's people just copy and paste stuff, and he linked it, so I will delete comments that are just either really, really unnecessary or irrelevant, and this was irrelevant. But it starts with, Black women have spent well in excess of 50 years.
I mean that they're strong, totally independent Black women who are never going to need a man of any kind for...
That was a paragraph, but it was one run-on sentence. What? And there's 3 more of them, but moving along. Mr. Time Traveler, you have beautiful armpits and face. Rhonda, this is not minimalist. Wow, that's a lot of stuff. Yasmin, you put your toothbrush in the same bag with no covering near your Diva cup. I'm speechless. First off, it's not a Diva cup. I've never even tried a Diva cup. And people responded to this. Someone said the cup is covered and both are clean, so what's the problem? And another person responded, why do you think her freshly washed cup is covered in germs? Why do you think her vagina has more germs than her mouth? I'm assuming you a blanket no oral sex policy too. Moving right along, back to me not being minimalist. I think this is just gonna be the title of the video. Misleading title. This is not minimalist. Also, to save space, most travelers don't pack the bulky shoes. They wear them on the plane and travel day. And the first response was, she did wear her bulky shoes. She wore her boots. Also, the term minimalist means different things for every person. What she values is not going to match what the other person who practices minimalism values. Leave her be. Thank you, Andrea. Like, I could not have said it better myself. And then someone else responded, not to mention she takes a laptop and a tablet. Talk about overkill. And what's with all those notebooks? Seriously, you're taking a tablet, make use of it. I did think the backpack was great for a 2-week trip. That'd probably be the size of my carry-on bag. So this person criticizes me for not being minimalist enough, but then compliments me saying I took less stuff than she would have in just her carry-on, not her check bag. Once again, that's too much underwear. I wash my underwear every time I take a shower, and it's not that hard. I also think those packing cubes are not fully full. The vast majority of people don't like washing their underwear in sinks every night. You can definitely do that, and I think if you are like backpacking for months and months and months, that's a good thing to have. I always feel like that leaves my underwear crunchy. I don't like it, and especially if I'm just going for 2 weeks or something. Bring at least 10 pairs of underwear usually, and that does not take up that much room. It takes up literally like the same size as like a pair of pants. I never fully pack my packing cubes usually, so I can just have more space, and I don't know, just kind of someone responded to my natural cycles video that I made a while back and said, this doesn't seem like a good idea. I'm not even gonna get into it. I can understand people's hesitation and concern when they first learn about charting, but it is science. It's not some like frou-frou black magic sort of thing. So, hi honey, talking about armpit hair and making a video over it, but you don't have that? Be natural, dear. You are damn cute, beautiful, and sizzling, sexy, hot. I can talk about armpit hair, everything that goes along with it, without choosing to have armpit hair myself. I'm just trying to say it's a choice. This is on my vegans losing their periods ? Video. I don't want to be mean, but your face looks really gray. Is it just the lighting? No, I think sometimes my skin is just weird colored. And I also think during the winter, like right now, you can kind of see washed out. I think I'm more yellow than gray when I get pale, but so my winter capsule wardrobe I just made, someone said, what's the point of this? And then someone said, what? Why are you watching this if you see no point? And this one's not mean, but on a video I put up like a month ago, happy to see you're still uploading videos. Like I'd probably let you know like if I was quitting YouTube. But I think that's just funny. Some people are like, when are you gonna upload videos? And they'll comment it on videos I made like years ago. And I'm like, all you have to do is go to my channel and see the hundreds of videos that I've made since. Oh, this one, I was talking about marathon training and like vegan meal planning. And this person said, vegan isn't the way for your body if you run, but good luck, you're pretty, so you won't hurt yourself too bad. I responded to this one. I don't remember what I said, but I said something along the lines of, there are so many amazing vegan athletes out there. Scott Jurek is a very well-known ultra marathoner, like not just marathoner, ultra marathoner, and he is completely vegan, and he talks in his book about transitioning to veganism and how that helped his running so much. And I was like, check out check out vegan bodybuilders. Like there's so many amazing vegan athletes out there that I think I'm just fine. So this is, a good old cleaning and detoxing your vagina, the video people love to comment on. Just throw the whole vagina away. Seems like the thing is problematic soon as puberty hits. I think it's a woman that said that. Like, no, it's not problematic. Vaginas are awesome. The whole point of this video was like, your vagina is awesome, leave it alone. So I don't know why she commented that. Oh, okay, so I made a video about the dangers in period tracking apps, and by that I meant like apps that predict your period and predict ovulation based on like nothing really other than like your past cycles you put in, not like the data, not your temperature, not your cervical fluid, just simply when you said your last period started. My point was, as charting becomes more mainstream, I don't want people to get these apps, these simply period tracking apps, which are great if you're a teenager and just like looking to track your period, because you want to like be able to look back at when it was and maybe get a suggestion for when it's going to be, even if it's not completely accurate. But I don't want people to be using them as birth control, and that was my point of this video. So this person said, so how is this dangerous? I think if danger as getting stalked or kidnapped or murdered. A period tracking app I don't think fits the mold of danger. Clickbait, I get it. Perhaps leave the very personal choice up to the woman. You claim women are pushing the responsibility onto an app, but isn't your message fear-driven? Why I still fear? How about being positive and presenting objective information and allowing people to choose what's right for them? Seems like you're almost trying to remove the choice by instilling fear in app users. I do believe you have a good message, but I don't believe it was adequately conveyed. Be well, keep talking, stay curious, peace and love. This one bothers me for a few different reasons, because I don't feel like they watched the video. I don't feel like that's what I was saying. And I feel like my whole freaking thing on YouTube and with Femhead and everything is presenting the information, is starting the conversation, is letting people know their choices, not taking their choice away. So it just frustrates me that this person doesn't know me, okay? Go watch another video of mine. I made a video about what I've been reading lately, and I don't even know what books are in this video, but this guy says, don't believe everything you read. I was a vegan, now I'm an ex-vegan. Meat makes me feel my best, and I am at peace with the death of other creatures, but it wasn't until I tried and started to eat raw meat that I really began to feel a sense of oneness with the animal that died, kind of like the Native Americans. I feel so much better on this program than on all the different vegan ones I was on, but good luck to you and give your children the best foundation. This has to be a joke. I don't think people actually eat raw meat unless it's like raw fish, right? You're not supposed to eat raw meat. And I don't want to get like super vegan on you and like be like, that's so disgusting. But like from like a common sense standpoint, even if you were a meat eater, you wouldn't go and like eat something that had been dead on the side of the road because of all the bacteria and stuff. I don't think me not eating meat is gonna change at any point in my life. I'm not one to sit here and tell you like you're a horrible person if you eat meat. That's not what my goal is in life. That person has to be joking. Someone responded on like how I started waking up early video. I think 8 hours of sleep is needed by a young person. I feel like I'm still young. I definitely, like I can function on less sleep, but I feel my best at 8 hours, and I have complete control over my schedule, so why wouldn't I give myself 8 hours and feel my best? So this is on my progesterone deficiency and healing it naturally, and this lady said, you need to first get rid of that nose ring. No, not going to. I've had a nose ring since college. I love it. I'm gonna keep it until I don't want to keep it anymore. All right, so those were my comments I got recently. I just kind of keep a folder on my computer, and every time I'm going through and I see one, I'm like, I'm gonna share this. And not all of them are mean. You can say what you want to say. Sometimes I see stuff and I'm like, my eyes like roll in the back of my head because I don't know, especially the ones where you're like, you're the wrong kind of minimalist. It doesn't annoy me. It just makes me go like, what world do you live in that people can't be different sort of things? I don't know. So those were my comments. Let me know if you think they're ridiculous too, or if you agree with any of them. Fine. I'm a bad minimalist apparently. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.